what is the hardest CIMA subject?
Okay, there's a couple of areas to consider there. I think the first thing is that, Alan, every student is different.
Hmm.
Yeah, some students have a preference for numbers and number crunching. Some students have a preference for discursive style areas such as the E stream. Yeah, and some of the subjects, as we know, both on the F and the P side, are a little bit of everything. Okay, that's the first point. But if you had to press me on it, I'd give you my top three. Yeah, I'll give you a sort of in ascending order. Yeah, the first one, most difficult subject, P3.
Mm.
Yeah, the second one, P3, and the third one, P3. Now, why do I say that? I say that because P3, in my experience of teaching the strategic level subjects, and I take it personally when students don't go through the exam, it's the only subject really where I have had pass rates or fail rates, if you will, that are comparable to the world averages. You know, in other words, to the published CIMA numbers. And I find it annoying. Yeah. And I think the reason for it is that the P3 exam, in terms of the content of the O3, the OT questions, varies from question to question, or it varies from exam to exam. Let me give you an example. I had a student probably 3 or 4 years ago who had come to me because they failed P3, yeah, and P3 is a tricky subject. Now, I prepared them, yeah, and they went into the exam, I think on the Monday, failed it again, yeah, marginally. Didn't do too much study, said I wanted to do the exam immediately. I said no. I said wait for a week, do a little bit more study. They said no, I'm not listening to you. Went in on the Wednesday and passed it with a really good mark. And I'm like, well, sorry, what's going on? I said, tell me a little bit about the difference between the two papers. Now, P3, the way it works, in terms of the heavy duty, complex technical calculations, it can have anywhere between 5 or 6 or 10 questions and 20 or 25. Now, this guy didn't favor the computational, nasty technical questions. Yeah. And on the second exam, there were much less of them. On the first one, there was 25 questions. So I think the content is the most difficult at the strategic level. Yeah. There's some really tricky concepts in there. And then outside of that, the exam varies from paper to paper or from OT exam to OC exam. Why, I don't know, but it's the only paper that I've ever heard students having serious difficulties with. I've heard some horror stories, 4 or 5 sittings at the
Mm.
OT level. I've had some bad experiences, and it's the only OT paper, Alan, that my students, classes or coaching have had difficulty with. Yeah?